You believe that power comes from force. You have been raised on the myth of the sledgehammer. You think that to defeat an enemy, you must hit them harder than they hit you. You think you must outshout them, outspend them, or outmuscle them. This is the strategy of the barbarian. It is messy, it is exhausting, and it leaves you vulnerable to a counterattack. The true architect of power does not use force, he uses choice. Most people believe that choice is synonymous with freedom. They think that if they have options, they are free. You are going to exploit this delusion. You are going to learn how to construct a cage made of open doors. You're going to learn how to present your enemy with two options, option A and option B, where both options lead to your victory and their defeat. You are going to learn how to paralyze their mind, hijack their nervous system, and force them to walk willingly into the trap you have set. This is the psychological weapon known as the double bind. It is the art of the no-win scenario. It is the strategy of heads I win, tails you lose. Sun Tzu says, "The enemy must not know where I intend to give battle, for if he prepares to the front, his rear will be weak. If he prepares to the left, his right will be weak. If he prepares everywhere, he will be weak everywhere." The double bind forces the enemy to prepare for the wrong thing every single time. Today, we are going to deconstruct the mechanics of this devastating technique. We are going to move beyond the simple sales tactics of paper or plastic and enter the deep waters of psychological warfare. We will teach you how to use the double bind to dismantle the ego of a narcissist, to dominate a negotiation, to trap a liar, and to control the frame of any interaction. We are going to turn you into the dealer, and in your casino, the house always wins. Welcome to the Art of the Trap. Part 1. The Anatomy of the Trap. Let us first dismantle the psychology of the problem versus the dilemma. The amateur gives his enemy a problem. I want you to lower the price. This is a problem. The enemy can solve it. They can say no, they can negotiate, they can walk away. A problem creates resistance. It creates a vector of force, you pushing against them. The warlord gives his enemy a dilemma. A dilemma is a situation where there are two undesirable outcomes, and the enemy must choose one. The pressure does not come from you, it comes from the choice itself. The human brain is a pattern-matching machine. It is designed to solve puzzles. When presented with two options, the brain immediately focuses on weighing the options. Should I choose A or B? While the brain is busy weighing A versus B, it forgets to ask the most important question, why am I choosing at all? This is the illusion of choice. By giving them a choice, you bypass their resistance to being commanded. If I say, sit down, you might rebel, you might stand up just to spite me. But if I say, would you prefer to sit in the armchair or the sofa? Your brain starts analyzing which is more comfortable, the armchair or the sofa? You sit. I controlled the outcome, you sitting, but you felt like you had autonomy, choosing the seat. The double bind takes this a step further. It attaches a negative consequence to both choices for the enemy or a positive consequence to both choices for you. Gregory Bateson, the anthropologist who coined the term, described it as a situation where a person is trapped between two conflicting injunctions. If you do X, you are punished. If you do not do X, you are punished. This induces a state of paralysis. It induces anxiety. It breaks the will. In warfare, this is the horn of the dilemma. You maneuver your army so that if the enemy stands and fights, they are crushed by your superior numbers. But if they retreat, they are cut down by your cavalry. Stand and die or run and die. When the enemy realizes they are in a double bind, their morale collapses, they surrender. You must learn to construct these scenarios in the boardroom, the bedroom, and the courtroom. Part 2. The social double bind. Dominance in the wild. Let's descend into the chaos of social interaction. This is where you face the soft insults, the passive-aggressive jabs, and the status games. The double bind is your scalpel. 1. The motive trap, dealing with aggression. An enemy attacks you. They raise their voice. They are rude. The amateur defends. Stop yelling at me! I didn't do anything. Weakness. The Warlord sets a double bind. You look at them calmly and ask, are you yelling because you are trying to hurt my feelings, or because you have lost control of your emotions? Analyze the trap. Option A, I am trying to hurt your feelings. If they admit this, they are a villain. They are malicious. They lose social status. They admit to being a bully. Option B, I have lost control of my emotions. If they admit this, they are a child. They are unstable. They are weak. They lose authority. There is no option C. They cannot say, I am yelling because I am right. You have framed the yelling, not the content. You have forced them to choose between being evil or being weak. Watch them stutter. Watch the rage drain out of them as their brain realizes it has been checkmated. 2. The competence trap, dealing with micromanagers. You have a boss or a partner who hovers. They don't trust you. They nitpick. The amateur complains, get off my back. The Warlord sets a double bind. Do you want me to focus on speed and get this done by 5 o'clock? Or do you want me to focus on these detailed updates you're asking for? Option A, speed. They have to leave you alone. Option B, updates. They have to accept that it will be late. You have defined the reality. You cannot have both. You have forced them to take responsibility for the outcome. If they choose updates and it is late, you are blameless. I did exactly what you asked. If they choose speed, they must retreat. 3. The identity bind, the compliance trap. This is powerful for getting people to do what you want. You link the action to a positive identity they crave. Are you the kind of person who honors their word, or do we need to sign a contract? Option A, honors their word. They must do what they promised without hassle. Option B, needs a contract. They admit they are untrustworthy. Nobody wants to admit they are untrustworthy, so they comply to prove they are. Option A. You have bound their ego to their compliance. Part 3. The romantic double bind, seduction and maintenance. Love is war. We have established this. In the dance of romance, he who controls the options controls the relationship. 1. The presupposition close. Never ask for a date. Never ask for permission. Do you want to go out with me? This is a yes/no question. It gives them a 50% chance to reject you. It puts all the power in their hands. Use the double bind of logistics. For dinner, are you a sushi person or do you prefer Italian? The presupposition is hidden. We are going to dinner. The choice is merely the flavor of the dinner. If they answer sushi, they have agreed to the date. They feel they made a choice. They feel free. But you set the destination. 2. The passion, bind, breaking the ice. You are in a conversation. It is stalling. You want to escalate. Are you always this adventurous, or is tonight a special occasion? Option A, always adventurous. They are fun, wild, open. Option B, special occasion. Tonight is special. You are special. Both answers frame the interaction as exciting. Both answers frame them as someone who is about to take a risk. You have deleted the option of them being boring or closed off. 3. The meta frame, ending an argument. Your partner is spiraling. They are bringing up the past. They are fighting dirty. Do you want to win this argument, or do you want to resolve the issue so we can enjoy the night? Option A, win. They admit they care more about ego than the relationship. Option B, resolve. They must stop fighting and start collaborating. You have framed winning as the enemy of happiness. Most people will choose happiness to avoid looking like a monster. Part 4, the corporate double bind, negotiation and management. The boardroom is a kill box. In business, you must use double binds to strip away your opponent's leverage. 1. The price/quality vice. A client demands a lower price. The amateur lowers the price. The warlord sets the bind. We can certainly lower the budget. Which part of the scope would you like to cut to achieve that number? Option A, cut the scope. You do less work for less money. Fair. Option B, keep the scope. They must pay the full price. You have eliminated option C, same work for less money. You force them to choose, do you want it cheap or do you want it good? You pretend that option C does not exist in the laws of physics. 2. The false empowerment management. You need an employee to work the weekend. If you order them, they resent you. I really need this project finished. Do you think you can crush it on Saturday, or would you prefer to come in early on Sunday to knock it out? Option A, Saturday. Option B, Sunday. You have removed the option of not doing it. You have given them autonomy over when they suffer, which reduces their resentment. They feel they chose Sunday. 3. The competence versus malice, the corporate kill shot. This is for destroying a rival in a meeting. Someone has failed. They messed up a project. You want to expose them without looking aggressive. John, regarding the error in the report, did you not have access to the correct data, or did you decide to ignore it? Option A, no access, incompetence. I didn't know. Option B, ignored it, malice. I chose wrong. If they say I didn't have access, you say, I see. Next time, please ask me. I'm happy to help you find the basic files. You frame them as a junior who needs help. If they say I ignored it, you say, that is a concerning judgment call. Either way, their status is lowered, and you looked like you were just trying to understand. Part 5. The strategic double bind, litigation and high stakes. In the courtroom or in high-stakes conflict, the double bind is used to corner the enemy into a confession or a fatal contradiction. The horned question: you are cross-examining a witness, or you are interrogating a liar. You want to prove they were at the scene of the crime or the affair. When you were at the hotel, did you use the side entrance or the main lobby? Option A, side entrance, admission of presence. Option B, main lobby, admission of presence. If they are innocent or weren't there, they should say, I wasn't at the hotel. But a liar is under high cognitive load. They are visualizing the hotel. They are worried about cameras. They think, if I say main lobby, maybe I was seen. I better say side entrance. They answer the choice, and in doing so, they confess to the premise. This is the presupposition of guilt. You construct a reality where their guilt is assumed, and the only question is the detail of the guilt. Part 6. The triple bind, the constriction. Sometimes 2 options are not enough. The enemy is slippery. They might find a third way. You must deploy the triple bind. This is the constriction. It is closing all exits. Scenario: you want to break up with someone or fire a client, but you want them to do it. You want to be the good guy. You create an environment where staying is impossible. Withdraw attention, the void. You stop feeding them supply. You become boring. Increase friction, the cost. You become difficult. You have boundaries. You say no. The happiness frame, the exit. You say, I feel like I'm making you unhappy. You deserve to be with someone who can give you what you need. Analyze the triple bind. You are cold, emotional pain. You are difficult, logistical pain. You offer them a moral high ground to leave, the exit. They will leave you. They will think it was their idea. They will tell their friends, he just couldn't give me what I needed. Perfect. You are free, and you have no blood on your hands. Part 7. Defense against the dark arts. Now you must learn to defend, because the warlords are out there, and they will use these binds on you. How do you know when you are in a double bind? The symptom. You feel a sense of panic. You feel a tightness in your chest. You feel like whatever you say will be wrong. You feel the damned if I do, damned if I don't sensation. When you feel this, stop. Do not choose A. Do not choose B. Both doors are traps. You must execute the meta-commentary maneuver. You must step outside the frame and talk about the frame. You must name the game. Defense 1. Expose the false dichotomy. Attacker. Are you incompetent or just lazy? You. I reject the premise of the question. I am neither. I am under-resourced. Let's talk about that. You refuse the choice. You introduce option C. You smash the frame. Defense 2. The literal answer. The autist defense. Attacker. Do you want to win or be happy? You. Both. Attacker. You can't have both. You. Watch me. You refuse to accept their rules of physics. You act as if their limitation does not apply to you. This requires high status. This requires frame control. If you say it with enough conviction, reality bends to you. Defense 3. The mirror of absurdity. Attacker. Are you yelling because you're angry or weak? You. I'm yelling because the acoustics in here are terrible, and I want to make sure you hear the truth. You turn their bind into a joke. You mock the trap. If you can laugh at the trap loses its teeth. Part 8. The Warlord's philosophy of choice. Why is this important? Because the illusion of choice is the primary mechanism of control in the modern world. Politics is a double bind. Vote for Party A or Party B. Both parties serve the same masters. Consumerism is a double bind. Buy Coke or Pepsi. Both ruin your health. Corporate life is a double bind. Work hard and get promoted, more work, or slack off and get fired. Most people live their entire lives running inside a maze built by others. They turn left, they turn right, thinking they are making decisions. They are not. They are rats in a maze. The warlord climbs the walls of the maze. The warlord looks down and sees the pattern. When you master the double bind, you stop being the rat. You become the architect. You stop choosing between the options you are given. You start creating the options. Sun Tzu says, "Therefore the clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him." To impose your will, you must curate the reality of your enemy. You must paint the world in such a way that their only logical path is the path that serves you. The ultimate double bind, identity versus survival. The most powerful bind you can place on a human being is between their ego and their survival. If you fight me, you will lose your reputation, ego. If you surrender, you will lose your position, survival. When the stakes are this high, the enemy freezes. And in that freeze, in that moment of hesitation, you strike. Part 9. Practical drills. This week you will practice. You will not launch massive attacks yet. You will test the weapon in small skirmishes. Mission 1. The OR test. In every interaction where you ask a question, replace yes/no with A or B. Do not say, "Can we meet?" Say, "Does Tuesday at 2 or Wednesday at 4 work better for you?" Watch how compliance increases. Watch how people fall into the slot you designed for them. Mission 2. The why reversal. When someone asks you a trap question, "Why are you so difficult?" do not answer. Reverse the bind. What is it about my standards that makes you feel uncomfortable? Make them explain their inadequacy. Shift the burden. Mission 3. The silence bind. In a negotiation, make an offer. Then go silent. The bind is speak and weaken your position, or stay silent and suffer the awkwardness. Most people will speak. They will choose to relieve the tension, option A, by sacrificing their leverage, option B. You hold the silence. You force them to choose. Conclusion, the freedom of the architect. You have now seen the wires. You have seen the strings that pull the puppets. The double bind is not just a technique, it is a lens. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You will see it in every advertisement. You will see it in every argument. You will see it in the eyes of your enemies. Do not be angry at the game. The game has always been played this way. Be the player who knows the rules better than anyone else. Do not accept the choices you are given. Reject the menu. Walk into the kitchen and cook your own meal. And when you serve it to your enemies, give them 2 plates. One is poison, the other is venom. Ask them politely, "Which one would you prefer?" And watch them thank you for the choice. This is the way of the art of conquest. On this channel, we cover a range of topics, like the one in this video. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, we may never see each other again. See you again soon.